The views and opinions expressed on this program do not reflect the company, owners, management, staff, clients, or partners.
Welcome to Bermuda's Daily Talk Show. It's the Daily Hour.
ChatGPT did become the world's most downloaded non-gaming app.
Literally the job of everyone in government to address the media and the public.
What are your thoughts, audience? What are your thoughts on Zandy Silva as the deputy PLP leader?
A community that can't feed itself is a community that doing.
What you may not know, though, is that Bermuda, we have a connection with Epstein, too.
Things that people are doing right, the youth are doing right, that is not being advertised enough.
When you see your access to U.S. dollars disappear, that's when you have a problem.
If you've got a town in the UK with a similar sized population, this place absolutely outshines it.
It's Friday, the 26th day of June, 2026. Welcome to Bermuda's Daily Talk Show. This is the Daily Hour brought to you by the BAC Group of Companies, HSBC, Bermuda Medical House, Lindo's, People's Pharmacy, and big love to Hot 1075 for ensuring that we can pump through the radio airwaves with these most important community conversations. I'm Jamal Hartman. Happy Friday. Happy final day of the traditional work week to every last one of you. How's everyone feeling today? Yeah, I'm going to be honest with you. I was a bit tired. I didn't make it to the gym this morning. Folks, you all know, I went to the Brazil and Scotland game, and we'll talk about it, but I had a blast. I had an absolute blast, and I'll talk about it a bit later. But how's everyone's week been? How are you feeling? Do you feel accomplished? Do we feel like this week was better than the last? Let us know. James Burgess says, good morning to the Daily Hour team show. I am watching. We appreciate you. Great morning to you, James Burgess. Appreciate you rocking with us once again. Folks, greetings, everyone, and thanks for making us part of your daily routine. A good one today. What does it mean to be a Bermudian ambassador? Yeah, we're discussing the fallout over a video with a taxi driver who's alleged to have been disrespectful to a passenger. So you want to be a part of this conversation. The Daily Play is the things you should know. Yeah, things you should know. Yeah, something I think we all should know this morning. All right. So you don't want to miss that. Also, don't forget to subscribe on our website, thedailyhour.com. Follow us on all of our social media channels to stay up to date with all that we have going on. Help us grow beyond the mic as we do our part to continue to improve our community. Folks, here's the question of the morning, and this is one that you want to make sure everyone you know who has a brain, who has a conscience, who actually thinks about life and people beyond their own, perimeter. This conversation's for every Bermudian who feels like they deserve a say. The question of the morning is, what should we expect from people who represent them, Bermuda, like people who are ambassadors for Bermuda? What should we expect from them, right? And where we're going with this is a video showing a confrontation between a taxi driver and a passenger has been making the rounds over the last few days. Now, as expected, people have picked sides. Some have defended the driver, others the passenger. Now, the truth is, none of us know exactly what happened before the video started or after it ended. That's the danger of social media. A few seconds can shape an entire narrative. Now, that said, I think this is a much bigger conversation than one taxi driver or one passenger. I think we really need to ask ourselves what we should expect from people who represent Bermuda or ambassadors for Bermuda or have a social media page and speak of Bermuda. See, I'm not just talking about taxi drivers. I'm talking about anyone whose job puts them in front of visitors or the public. Whether it's a taxi driver, hotel worker, restaurant server, tour guide, retailer, anyone in hospitality, or any Bermudian with a social media page, there's a first impression people have of Bermuda. But I need to be clear here. Respect goes both ways, right? As far as, service, customer service. Customers nor visitors don't get a free pass to be rude or disrespectful simply because they're on vacation or they're expats or guest workers. Bermuda and Bermudians deserve to be treated with respect too. But here's the kicker for me. When you choose a profession that's built around serving people, there's a level of professionalism, whether we like it or not, that comes with it. It doesn't mean accepting abuse. It doesn't mean just letting people run all over you. But it does mean understanding that how you choose to respond can say just as much as what happened. The reality is we're working hard to attract more people to Bermuda, workers, visitors, and it takes years to build a reputation and seconds for a viral video to damage it. Fair or unfair, people around the world aren't judging Bermuda based on one taxi driver. They're not judging one taxi driver based on that situation. They're judging Bermuda and Bermudians as a whole. And that's why we need to have this conversation. And you see the question of the morning. What should we expect from people who represent Bermuda? Think about it. I'll come back, gather your thoughts, and I'll share today's poll. This is your daily discussion brought to you by Titan Express and Secure.
People's ACW, located at King Edward VII Memorial Hospital, carries over-the-counter medicines, toys, cards, and even toiletries. Our knowledgeable staff are there whether you're at emergency, visiting family, or a member of BHB staff, to show you our best even when you're feeling your worst. People's ACW, we're here for you.
Alrighty, folks, we are back. We've got Ms. Claire Warner says, good morning, Jamel. Good morning, Bermuda. Enjoy your weekend. Keep safe. And a great Friday morning to you as well, Claire Warner. Great mornings. Suzanne Ingham says, good morning, Jamel. It's an awesome Sherry Day. Sherry is celebrated every week, and a great Friday and Sherry Day to you as well, folks. Suzanne. All right, folks, let's get back to the discussion this morning. For those who are just tuning in, you may have received a video going around of a taxi driver's altercation with a passenger. Now, a confrontation pretty much is an important reminder that, one, we don't know the full story. Social media really provides complete context, right? So I think people should avoid rushing to judgment. Now, here's the situation in a small community. I make no excuses for what I saw in that video, what I heard in that video. No excuses whatsoever. Let me be very clear about that. And I see people from just taking sides. Here's what I've learned in this life, especially doing this show. I give people grace, because every last person who's tuned into this show right now loses the cool every now and then, may act out of character that people know you for or know you as, right? And so we may respond harshly at times, or respond differently to how people know us. And who's to say someone's not recording you while you're responding in that way? And then now there's this narrative that's going around about your behavior. I think we need to be very careful with stuff like that. And then the other part is, okay, someone has a reputation of being a certain way. So now everything they do or are alleged to have done, they're automatically guilty of. That's a dangerous way for us to be and think in our community. Again, this is not to make excuses for what I saw, but I think we need to be very careful when we don't have full context, right? Not making excuses. I don't know the individual. But again, there's a bigger conversation here, right? It's not just about this one driver. And I don't like this term, but you all do. It is about having a certain level of professionalism and customer service. And I mentioned Bermuda's reputation. Let me be very clear. There are people who accuse me on this show, oh, you go easy now. You're not as hard as you once were. Here's the thing. I actually really do love Bermuda, and I love Bermudians, right? And I understand the responsibility that I hold being on the internet, right? Because all of us have these fingers and these mics and the ability to say what we want on the internet. Believe it or not, we're just as guilty, because when we start to put something on the internet, that's reputation damage as well, if it's something not positive, right? When we go on the internet complaining or concerned and sharing our concerns about Bermuda, people outside of Bermuda see that as well. You know, there's a sex offender being released, and we're always on the internet speaking about it. Yes, we have a right to share those concerns among us. Here's this, oh, Bermuda's only so small, and they've got always got sex offenders being released, right? Last month, our social media team took a clip of me speaking about people saying Bermuda's boring, and I spoke about things to do. That's probably one of the most viral posts we've had this year, where the amount of non-Bermudians posting on that Bermuda's not boring, Bermuda has this and that. And then in the same post, Bermudians who want people to come to Bermuda, right? We need tourists and visitors. It is boring. We don't have this. We don't have that. So again, we are just as guilty, maybe not as bad as treating one person poorly, but we don't do ourselves a great service when we are on this internet and everything that comes out of our mouths or from our fingers is negative about Bermuda. And no, it's not that I've gone soft. I'm just a bit more conscious about how I discuss things as it relates to Bermuda. That doesn't mean my thoughts have changed. I still don't think Bermuda loves black boys. I don't think Bermuda loves black men. I think Bermuda is a pick-me place when it comes to black males. The black males who mostly are successful per se are the pick-me's, right? I do feel that way. I will still share some of that. But you don't really hear me speaking about Bermuda being corrupt and, you know, as bad as I could with the things that I have or know. There's something to that. And here's your poll question for the day, folks. Here's your poll question. I forgot to give you that. Let me grab it for you, because we got to give you a poll question. You want a poll question, right? And we're going to put the public service folks in the same realm that we put the politicians a couple of weeks ago. Should customer service / public service work, because it's too long, public facing workers be held to a higher standard? That's what we're going to ask. All right, let's do that for the poll, right? So 1 for yes, 2 for no. But let's go to the comments again. Question of the morning. If you just tuning in, we're speaking about a video has been going around about a taxi driver treating a passenger very poorly, right? The passenger appeared to be afraid and questioning the driver of where he was taking her. And the driver's response was seemingly aggressive and saying some things like, go back to your country. And I'm not gonna do anything to you. And that's what was shown on video. Again, we don't know what was said prior or after. And sometimes all we can do is judge based on what we see, right? But what are your thoughts? We're all ambassadors for Bermuda, but what should we expect from people who are representing Bermuda, who choose to represent Bermuda? Politicians, as national team athletes, as public service vehicle representatives. What should we expect from the audience? What are your thoughts? Charles H. Jeffers II says, I would also add those representing Bermuda overseas in sports and business. Well, yeah, that's the whole point of it. That's why we said represent Bermuda. You always act with a high level of integrity and professionalism as you're representing not just yourself, but all of Bermuda. I'm going to switch gears because he mentioned the word. What does that even mean? I think that's the biggest problem we have in Bermuda. And I'm going to use Charles H. Jeffers and Dury when he came on the show, when he was first appointed as the CEO of Bermuda Tourism Authority. He questioned what we don't even all agree as to what Bermuda culture is. Some people may say Bermuda short. Some people may say a dark and stormy. Some people may say Gambia. We're not aligned in our thinking. So when we talk about integrity, I didn't realize how subjective that was until you begin having conversations with people. When you speak about professionalism, a term I really just cannot stand, we're not really on the same page about what that represents, right? So what maybe we need to figure out what that looks like. What do people expect from a person representing Bermuda? I'll use an example. The National Basketball Association. What was it? The brawl in the Palace between the Indiana Pacers and Detroit Pistons back in the day, where the Pacers players got in fights with fans, and a whole thing happened. And the NBA commissioner, David Stern, basically made a lot of changes in the NBA. It was a time when the players were wearing hip-hop clothing, baggy stuff, and so on. And now they had to wear suits, right? I still disagree with that to this day. Professionalism to me is cultural. And when we start to getting into what's professionalism and cultural, you start to kind of find that deep down, it's really about shaping people to act as one certain group of people rather than a way that embraces all people. So I think when we ask the question, what should we expect from people who represent Bermuda? One thing I don't think, or I do think is universal, is making sure no one feels unsafe. That to me could be universal, making sure that no one feels unsafe. And if they are telling you they feel unsafe, which could be, again, somebody could be offended this morning just by you saying good morning, right? Once you find out someone's offended, you have a decision to make. Okay, can I adapt how I'm treating this person at this time? So I think there's ways that we can all adapt and make changes without conforming or changing to live within this bubble that we're told is professionalism when it's really a certain group's culture. I hope that makes sense. I hope that makes sense. But audience, again, if you're just tuning in, we're speaking about the viral video that has been going around about a taxi driver. He basically had a confrontation with a passenger. Now, I don't know if the passenger was a visitor or a guest worker in Bermuda, but the passenger appeared very scared. The passenger took video of the exchange with the cab driver, and he simply, based on the video, was asking, "Where are you going?" And saying that she's scared, and the cab driver was responding aggressively about, going home or back where you come from, and nobody's going to do anything to you, and so on. Now, again, I believe there's a bigger conversation here, right? This is about our conduct as Bermudians. It's about, when we choose to be in spaces to serve people, we have a certain responsibility, right? This is not about this one incident. This is about Bermuda's overall reputation in a time when we're trying to attract both visitors and workers. And there are many people who represent Bermuda in different ways. As mentioned, yes, you have the taxi drivers, hotel staff, restaurant workers, tour operators, retail staff, government employees. I remember, and I know you will remember this. I remember when I worked in Bermuda tourism, and we would bring guests down for fam trips, right? And they would say to us, the people in your customs and immigration are not the friendliest. They never smile. And I would always think, while I appreciate the job that customs and immigration have to do, it's a serious job. Like you are there to really protect the borders of the land. As a tourist destination, who need, we need the guest. We need people. The first point of contact should probably be the friendliest, right? We should probably be the most welcoming. And I remember trying to explain to them, well, it's border control, and I get your point. But as soon as you get past them, that's when you get the real Bermudian smiles. Let's talk about respect. Because I think when we have this conversation, I've said for years, and I know many of you agree, respect is a two-way street. It is. And again, we only know what we saw in the video. And based on the video, the woman was not being disrespectful. Maybe the driver felt disrespected, right? Maybe he felt that way, and that's his right. But she didn't seem to be disrespectful. She seemed to be genuinely afraid, right? I feel like, I've said it, the customer is not always right. We have to be clear about that, because there was a time where we taught, especially young people coming into the workforce, the customer's always right. That's dangerous. It's ridiculous. The customer is not always right. We're always taught Bermudians should respect visitors. Yeah, that's true. But visitors should respect Bermudians as well. We have to remember, good customer service doesn't mean one should accept abuse. And that little term, professionalism, to be very clear, it doesn't mean you should allow yourself to be mistreated. All right? We've got 9/11 Island Girl says, one of the main problems with the taxi industry is once attaining a license, there's zero training in customer service, de-escalation, etc. You got a license and drive. Hospitality isn't for everyone. Fair enough. But let's take it away from the taxi industry for a second. Where's the social media training? Once we got a social media page, we could just say what we want and do as we please, right? We're choosing to be here. And again, yes, the taxi driver chose to do that as a job. There's a process they go through. But we're no better. But what I'm saying this morning is we've got to give people grace. Because I've seen a lot of times when we get on people, right? And then when it happens to us or someone we love, we're on the defense. But I feel like there should be training all the time, not just for people who are taxi drivers, but for Bermudians, for us. Like if I was in charge of the BTA, I would be, they have this course, I think it's called the Anchor course now, right? But for me, I would be offering things to Bermudians about how to better represent Bermuda, not just if you're a taxi driver, not just if you're a hotel worker, but how to best represent Bermuda on the internet. Seriously. Because, again, no excuses for what this driver said, was alleged to have said. No excuses for what I saw. But many of us, with our social media content, are just as bad. And it is an apples to apples comparison, believe it or not. The way we speak about visitors, and again, go look at that post our social media team put up, right, of me last month speaking about there being nothing to do in Bermuda. And look at the amount of visitors who have visited Bermuda over the years who commented, oh, I love Bermuda. Is this, that to do? Is this, is great. And then look at what all the Bermudians put in there. And you'll see how we are our own worst enemy. And we are probably 10 times worse than how this taxi driver treated this woman, which was wrong based on what we saw. The point I'm making, we're no better. We're no better. We're going to continue this conversation. You can keep answering the poll, but we've got to show some love to Titan Express and Secure. We'll do the days of the year. We'll take a break. We'll come back, but this is a conversation. And let me be very clear. I don't think anyone's wrong for having an issue with what we saw. There's no excuse for the behavior. What I'm trying to get us to do is put all things in perspective and understand that none of us, if we have a social media page and we write stuff, if we write on stories on the Royal Gazette, if we write on stories on people's social media statuses, we're all guilty of the same thing. I'll challenge you to it. I guarantee you. What should we expect from people who represent Bermuda? All of us need to look in the mirror and ask, what should or can I do better to represent Bermuda on the internet? Show some love to Titan Express and Secure. We'll take a quick break. Well, I got to give you days of the year, then we'll take a quick break, and we'll continue the conversation. Stick with us.
The Daily Discussion is brought to you by Titan Express and Secure. Titan Express delivers safe, professional, and reliable transportation and tours across the island. From island tours to cultural experiences, they set the standard. And Secure is your go-to for property management, waste management, and residential and commercial services. Visit securebda.com. Professional, punctual, and reliable service is their commitment to you.
All righty, folks. Welcome back. All right, so look, days of the year. Let me give you your days of the year, folks. Let me give you your days of the year. So today, it's World Refrigeration Day. World Refrigeration Day. Yeah. I'm going to ask you all, what's something that you always have in your refrigerator? What is something that you always have in your refrigerator? Like something that when you open your refrigerator, anyone opens your refrigerator, it's there. Something that's always, let me see. Something that's always in my refrigerator. I don't know how specific I should be, but I'm going to say fruit. I always have fruit in my refrigerator. WKD Llama says cold water. It's weird. I never have cold water. I don't drink cold water. Like all my water is room temperature. I don't know why, but I just like water room temperature. But cold water, yeah. Most normal people probably have cold water. I guess I'm not normal. We've got Joy Marie says eggs. All right. See, I don't eat eggs. I've never got eggs in my refrigerator. Okay, see, you all are normal. I'm not. We got James Burgess says baking soda for fumes. Okay. Suzanne Ingram says veggies. Okay, veggies. Yeah, I would say almond milk and fruit will definitely be found. We've got LSFS contact says beef, bacon, and sweet tea. That sounds so Southern. I love it. Sounds Southern. Like I'm just from the deep South in the United States. I got my bacon and my sweet tea. We've got milk, says Polly Rich. Milk. Donna Smith says bacon soda as well. So what does bacon soda do, audience? I know my nana used to do it. I never understood it. What does bacon soda in a refrigerator do? I know you said for fumes, James Burgess, but what does it do to fumes? I'm not familiar. Maybe I'm too young to understand, but let us know what it does. All right, folks, let's take a quick break. We're going to continue the conversation. You know the question of the morning. We're talking about the incident with the taxi driver seemingly, allegedly coming across very disrespectful to a passenger. And we're going to continue that conversation after the break. So don't go anywhere. And we'll have to reach out to the ministry or transport department to see if any action is being taken as well. All right, let's take this quick break and we'll be back after this.
Guess what? Bermuda's most popular game is back. That's right, Shoe Buy is back in stores. But wait, there's more. The brand new Shoe Buy Summer Edition is here too. Bring the laughs, the vibes, the friendly chaos to your barbecues and summer get-togethers with Bermuda's favorite game. Don't miss your chance to get yours. Visit BermudaTrivia.com and follow Bermuda Trivia on social media to learn more.
One lucky box in the summer edition has a golden ticket with the chance to win a grand prize courtesy of One Communications.
Hi there, welcome to Medical House. We're located at number 6 Bakery Lane. I can't wait to show you all of the great stuff that we carry. Come on inside, let's see. Long days, long shifts, you no longer have to endure comfortable underwear. Designed by nurses, we now offer premium undergarments by Swoop that are unique, fun, comfortable, and functional. The only underwear you'll ever want to wear. Who says high-quality functional products can be stylish and comfortable at the same time?
See it all at our new expanded location on Bakery Lane.
Discover Drop It, your go-to grocery delivery. Browse and select from a wide range of groceries, from fresh produce to daily essentials. Our friendly drivers deliver fresh groceries to your door fast, saving you time and hassle. With Drop It, you get fresh groceries delivered fast, so you can focus on what really matters. Drop It, freshness at your doorstep, delivered to your door with Lindo's. Why go anyplace else?
What lasts isn't what you buy, but what it becomes. With the HSBC MasterCard credit card, every spend quietly adds to a story shaped by intention and offers what matters most. Support that meets you where you are. Protection that preserves what you choose. Confidence for the unexpected. Peace of mind wherever your story leads. Start your next chapter. Use your card today. HSBC is licensed to conduct banking investment business by the Bermuda Monetary Authority.
I know you want to come get some. Playing around. Playing around. I got this. I got it, no doubt.
Ever taken medication and thought, why is this hitting me so hard? Or why isn't this doing anything at all? Here's something you may not know. Your body processes medication the same way it needs to process food, using enzymes. And these enzymes metabolize medication so it can be converted into its useful form or removed from your body. Pharmacogenetics looks at how your DNA influences the way your body metabolizes or breaks down medications. It helps explain why a drug that works well for one person causes side effects in another and barely works at all for someone else. That means the same pill at the same dose can feel very different from one person to the next. It's not about blame, it's not about doing something wrong, it's simply biology. And once you know what works best for you, medication decisions stop being guesswork and start becoming personalized.
Alrighty, welcome back to the big show. Jamel Hartman here. This is the Daily Hour brought to you by the BAC Group of Companies, HSBC Bermuda, Medical Host Lindo's People's Pharmacy, and big love to Hot 107.5 for ensuring that we can pump through the radio airwaves with these most important community conversations. Folks, don't forget to subscribe on our website. Follow us on all of our social media channels to stay up to date with all that we have going on. Help us grow beyond the mic as we do our part to continue to improve our community. Before we went to break, we were talking about World Refrigeration Day, and some of you said, well, you put baking soda in there, and I asked, what does it do? And you said WKD Lama says eats odors. Okay. 9/11 Island Girl says baking soda absorbs odors. Okay. We've got Judith Vogt says baking soda absorbs smells and odors. So, okay. Well, Donna Smith says, not sure. She was just following grandmother. See, that's what I would have been doing. I would have just been following what Nana did. My Nana used to do that. We've got Joy Marie also said baking soda removes food smells. It can also clear gas out of your body with water and lemon. Okay. See, I'm learning something. Learning something. You all gave it to me this morning. All right. So I'll go through some others because we did ask World Refrigeration Day. We've got someone said, Sherilyn Johnson said water, fruit, and wine, of course, baking soda. Okay. All right. Well, let's get back to the question because you all seem very into this. And do us that favor, audience. This again, I think every Bermudian is an ambassador. Whether by choice or not, we are all ambassadors. When we turn on our internet and get on our computers or phones every day, we are an ambassador for Bermuda. We're choosing to speak, whether we think we're speaking for Bermuda or not. We are. If we're writing something about Bermuda on this internet that we're on right now, and people beyond Bermuda can see it and shape their perspectives based on it, then we are ambassadors for Bermuda. And so obviously it's not like being an ambassador to make a living, like a cab driver who made a choice, but it is kind of the same result it could be. Now, back to the question from this morning. The question, what should people expect from ambassadors? And again, the poll, 1 for yes, 2 for no. Should customer service / public facing workers be held to a higher standard? 1 for yes, 2 for no. Let's go to Charles H. Jefferson II. He says, professionalism, in my opinion, is not doing anything that would embarrass your family and friends. We used to say, don't do anything that would give someone reason to speak ill of you or your family name. Okay. We've got 9/11 Island Girls. Furthermore, the vetting to attain a taxi license is weak, and the rules in place for dress and decorum are not enforced. In hospitality, one must like people, value people, and be kind to people. Yeah. I've heard those rules not being enforced for years. I have my thoughts on that. We've got Joy Marie says, all I'm going to say is when my father was alive and oversaw the taxi drivers, he didn't play with them or the dress code, which looks disgusting as well. And many drivers are nasty how some talk, okay? We've got Stacey Madeira says, why didn't she trust this man to get her to the intended destination? She must have told him where she had to go when she got in the vehicle, but you are continuously questioning him. So I'm going to go out on a limb and say that, Stacey Madeira, are you basically saying you got in a cab and you say, hey, I'm going to point A, and the driver starts driving. And you've probably been point A before, and you're like, well, this isn't the way I usually go. So you're probably asking the driver, well, where are you taking me? Where are you going? And the driver's annoyed because you've asked him to do a job and he's trying to do it. Is that what you're saying? I just want to get understanding. Charles H. Jefferson II says, I agree. There should be social media training for those who represent Bermuda too. Remember what a government minister posted himself, which is different. Are you speaking about a government minister who spoke, about breast milk and to a person? You mean that time? And I'm not being facetious. I'm trying to be clear because that's the only thing I remember. But I disagree with Charles here. I don't think there should be social media training for those who represent Bermuda because he's putting represent in quotes, right? I think social media training should be like, you know how they're doing the Project Ride for all teenagers, like they're doing all this to improve the riding of young people. And as has been proven over the years, it's not the younger people getting in a lot of the collisions, it's the older people, but they're trying to shape young people while they're young, right? So that when they get older, they're less likely to have that same fate. I think there needs to be social media training for adults. I'm sorry. I'm going to say some of us are really horrible. And I'm going to encourage all of us to look in the mirror. Like some of us, when I go back and look, because I don't delete posts, I was like, man, I really used to say that. Some of us post some things where it's like, do we really need this kind of validation? Why do we want our opinion heard so much? Right? I think it's a psychosis. Like it's something going on, but I think most of us need social media training. Most of us really do. And I think that would actually help with what shapes Bermuda when we get on the internet. I only recently became a person who started looking at reviews. You no longer have to go to just a review site to read reviews. If you type in the right prompts, whatever you use, it'll take you to what locals say. And do you really want to be in a place where locals are unhappy and things are happening where they can't afford to live? Because if you start to think about it, if they're saying, well, locals can't afford to live, they're going to start taking from others. It's a lot. It's a lot. Suzanne Ingham says, maybe he was having a bad day, speaking about the cab driver. Bad news, had a previous argument, obviously stressed about something beforehand. Maybe he's not like normally like that. Who knows? Here's the thing, Suzanne, and I'm going to keep this comment up, right? For those tuned in on the radio. I'll say this. I remember going to a restaurant about 2.5, 3 years ago, going to lunch. And the waitress was absolutely, she wasn't rude. She wasn't helpful. And the person I was with, we were talking. And we immediately felt grace for this waitress. We didn't know her. Again, it's a big country. It's not small like Bermuda. And we just started speaking. You know what? We never know what this person may be going through. Maybe their loved one had a diagnosis. Maybe they lost something. Maybe they had a diagnosis. And it's so easy for us to sit here and say, oh, people shouldn't take their problems to work. We're all human. You cannot tell people to not be human and not take their problems to work. That used to be something that sounded good, but we don't know what people are going through. So I appreciate that. I appreciate that. And people may say, well, if you're in that line of work, you just shouldn't go to work. You don't know what this person may have had to go drive their taxi to make money. I think we need to be very careful. Now, to the point where Suzanne says, maybe he's not normally like that. Even if he is normally like that, like aggressive, right? That's something that, going back to something someone said about training, right? When you got a certification in IT, you have to renew it. Certain certifications you have to renew every few years. I think maybe, as someone mentioned, service training may be something that needs to be constant, something that's done over and over and over, right? Charles H. Jeffs II says, what was posted about the premier, not excusing his behavior, but he didn't post it. I don't get it. What do you mean? What's that in reference to? Sorry, that comment came long after. We've got Stacy Medeiros says, so this female guest says to the front desk agent at a major hotel in Bermuda, quote, well, aren't you the N-word? You're supposed to know about these sorts of things, end quote. Front desk is expected to suck it up. Well, that's just a poor company if they expect someone to suck it up. I'll say this, and I say it in the most respectful way. If you oversee people in customer service, there's got to be thresholds. And sometimes, unfortunately, people are going to respond as human beings. They are. I'm not promoting violence. I don't think it should ever be violent. But when people reach certain levels of disrespect, then they must be confronted sternly. And not saying they must be confronted with disrespect, but simply, you know what? Due to your language, we are no longer going to have a conversation. And end it. The cab driver, based on what I saw in the video, possibly it would have been in his interest to say, you know what, madam? You are making some serious accusations, and I don't appreciate it. And this conversation will not continue. I will get you to your destination, and I'll give you my name. But I will no longer be engaging you during this ride. Easier said than done, right? Easier said than done. Dorian says his ID should have been displayed next to the meter at that angle she was recording. I'm surprised she only showed the driver and not more of the surroundings. Oh, Dorian, here's the thing. If you were out with someone and you were recording them because for whatever reason, the strategy behind why you're doing it, right? I watch enough Dateline in 2020, and they give tips through these shows, like, you know, if you're being abducted, how to leave traces of yourself, right? If someone's physically attacking you, scratching them with your nails and getting their DNA under. If you're in a car, leaving strands of your hair so your DNA is in there. I think this woman was genuinely afraid. I do, based on the video. Based on the video, I think she was genuinely afraid. And I think if anything happened to her, she was documenting it for someone to see. That's it. I'm not saying I agree or disagree. I'm just saying, based on the video, she seemed genuinely afraid. And this is a problem. Stacey Medeiros said she didn't know how to get there. Speaking of, well, I don't know this. Maybe you have more information than me. And maybe, you know, look, we've all gotten into, I'll tell you next. Actually, this happened yesterday. So I was on my way back home from the airport yesterday, and the Lyft driver, I just put my headphones on so they don't talk to me. And she got in the wrong lane. So I said, madam, you need to be in this lane right here. Right? Oh, okay. Like, okay, but now you're blocking off traffic that needs to be in the right lane. Cool. So he makes the turn, and now she's in the right lane and gets over to another lane. I'm like, no, but madam, you need to be in this lane. Oh, well, yeah, but this is not a turning lane, and the people in the right lane can go straight as well. I didn't appreciate the way she responded. And if you all know me, I always give people 5 stars. And I gave her 3 stars. I gave her 3 stars because when I was trying to tell her what to do, her response to me was almost like, just let me do my job. And so, again, I'm going to take Stacey Medeiros' word, but I know where I live. I'm trying to tell you what lanes to be in based on the law. And your response is like, okay, cool. All right, we're going to 3-star you. And I'm going to take your tip from 20% to 15%. Because I have a standard tip of 20. So she lost 5% tip. I mean, only like $2. But my point is, as my good friend told me years ago, when we were at a restaurant in New York City, I don't reward bad behavior. I wasn't scared for my life like this passenger in this cab driver's car, but I didn't appreciate how she handled me. And that was the way I responded. So I take the points this one. I get it. I completely get both sides. I think there's a lot of lessons in this. There's a lot of lessons in this. And if true, that, people don't get up-to-date training. That needs to change yesterday. It needs to change. And who's to say that this person, the driver, couldn't have got even more angry or mad? And things turned out differently. We've got Dorian says, remember, she didn't trust where he was taking her, so she should have shown some of her surroundings. Yeah, good point. Good point. All right, audience. So what's your final response on the poll? Should customer service, public-facing workers be held to a higher standard? 1 for yes, 2 for no. Right now, it's 100% yes. And also, final thoughts, what should we expect from people who represent Bermuda? Whether they are cab drivers, hospitality workers, politicians, whether they are national team athletes, what should we expect from them? Do we raise the bar? Should the standards be higher? Let us know. We're going to take our final break. After this break, audience, got a big announcement after this. A big announcement. You don't want to miss this one. You've heard of Christmas in July, right? Stick with us. I'll tell you about it after this.
Children love to play and have fun. And they love gifts even more, especially ones that they can enjoy and learn from. With Bermuda Trivia coloring books, kids can explore the island while they color, learn, and create. The perfect activity for fun and learning together. Available now.
Visit BermudaTrivia.com and follow Bermuda Trivia on your favorite social media platforms to learn more.
For over 70 years, Bermuda Pest Control has been protecting homes and businesses island-wide. We offer a full suite of services, including rodent control, termite fumigation, and general insect control and maintenance. Our team of experts will quickly and efficiently eliminate any pest problem you may have. With Bermuda Pest Control, you can enjoy a pest-free home in no time. We're committed to providing fast, reliable, and solution-driven services for our customers. It's what we've been doing since 1952. Call Bermuda Pest Control today and say goodbye to pests for good.
Dreaming of expanding your business? With BDC's Loan Guarantee Program, we support your ambitions. Get up to 75% guarantee on bank or credit union loans up to $300,000. Just your vision and our support. Apply today and unlock new business opportunities. BDC, Bermuda Business starts here.
Bermuda, there's nothing like a home-cooked meal, especially when you can feed the whole family without stretching your wallet. With the affordable Bermuda basket, you'll find savings on everyday staples like rice, chicken, corn, and more. Everything you need to make a good meal for less. Shop the Bermuda basket at Lindo's, Marketplace, the Garden Market, and the English Market. Visit costofliving.gov.bm to see the full list of goods and start planning your meals. This is a message from the Ministry of Home Affairs.
Life moves fast, and so can the unexpected. When you insure your home, you need to know that your insurance company has your back. At Friesenbrook, let one of our friendly and professional agents give you that peace of mind. Because when you are covered, you are confident. Call us at 296-3600 or visit friesenbrook.bm to learn more.
Guess what? Bermuda's most popular game is back. That's right, Shoe Buy is back in stores. But wait, there's more. The brand new Shoe Buy Summer Edition is here too. Bring the laughs, the vibes, the friendly chaos to your barbecues and summer get-togethers with Bermuda's favorite game. Don't miss your chance to get yours. Visit BermudaTrivia.com and follow Bermuda Trivia on social media to learn more.
One lucky box in the summer edition has a golden ticket with the chance to win a grand prize courtesy of One Communications.
Alrighty, welcome back, audience. Thanks for rocking with us today, man. Appreciate you all rocking with us. Thanks, big up, and thanks to the BAC group of companies, HSBC, Bermuda, Medical House, Lindo's, People's Pharmacy, and big love to Hot 1075 for ensuring we can do this with you on a regular basis. Folks, it is time for the Daily Play brought to you by Bermuda Trivia, now available at stores throughout Bermuda. Follow Bermuda Trivia on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, X, and TikTok to find out why it's Bermuda's favorite trivia game. All right, are you ready? It's the things you should know, and I know you all know this. So here is today's question. It's World Cup time. Audience, what country has the largest population of African people outside of the continent of Africa? Yes, you did. Yes, you did, WKD Llama. It is, in fact, Brazil. Sankofa Bermuda says Brazil. And we've got Renee Charlin says Brazil. Brazil, Brazil, Brazil. Yes. Audience, let me tell you, I had a blast watching Brazil and Scotland. I flew down to Miami for the night, watched the game. I was adopted by Brazilians. A couple of them came to me, and I was in line for the bathroom. One guy was talking to me in Portuguese. I was just like, yeah, right? Just whatever. So finally realized, oh, you're not Brazilian? I said, no. Where are you from? I said, Bermuda. And he started singing this song. He said, no party, no Bermuda, no Bermuda, no party, no Bermuda. And I just got in on it. And I said, you're Brazilian now. And he said, you look Brazilian. I said, okay, well, I'm Brazilian. Because, I don't have a team, as I told you. So I've been adopted as a Bermudian, a Brazilian, sorry. I should say Bermudian too, because, they deserve me. But Brazilian, I've been adopted as a Brazilian. So I guess I will wear my Brazilian jersey when they go on sale, because 129 is not it. But no, I had a blast. And I've said this to a couple of people who asked me, how was my World Cup experience? And the truth is this. I've been to NBA games. I've been into NFL games. I've been to La Liga in Spain to see Barcelona play when Messi was there. I've been to Major League Baseball games, Atlanta Braves. I've been to Women's World Cup in Canada back in 2015. I've been to a lot of sporting events like wrestling, you name it. Nothing compares to the World Cup. Like absolutely nothing. I'll tell you a story, and I'll get my permission to share the video. I was trying to live in the moment so much, but I was trying to capture a lot as well. So we were in a hospitality suite, so we had really good tickets, and they give you a gift. FIFA gives you a gift as well. And we got a red box, and in the red box was a football. And as we were leaving, so after the game finished, we stayed in our seats for a while, let the crowd leave. Then we went up to the suite where they had a DJ and food, and we just, relaxed, and we chilled for a few hours. So it was less people, and it was still a party. And as we were leaving, a young boy, and I'll show what parts of the video I was able to grab. And as it happened, I said, I wish I had my phone up to capture this. Was running towards us saying, hola, hola. So we were looking like, who's he talking to? He spoke no English. This young boy ran up to us as we were exiting the stadium, shouting, hola, hola, hola. And we turned and said, hey. And he was trying to communicate with us that he had a gift that he wanted to exchange because he knew the gift we had in the box was a football. And I took my phone out to capture the end of it. So my friend I was with said, oh, what do you have? And he didn't, again, there was no English understood. And he opened it, and it must have been socks, like World Cup socks. So my boy was like, oh, okay, well, here you go. The joy on this little kid's face, and he like, yes, ran off. And it made me realize something I grew up knowing. Forget FIFA. Forget the politics. Forget World Cup. Football is the world's game. And it's moments like that that helped me remember why they call it the beautiful game. When I learned as a child, when my mom would get me the books about why they chose red card and yellow card, because there were so many differing languages. So they use colors for discipline, right? Yes, and I still have my band on from the game, right? But this game goes beyond language barriers, because the way we communicate is through love. And I hope that young boy enjoys that football. But I just wanted to share that. It was an amazing experience. An amazing experience. And I hope that everyone I know, whether you're a lover of sport or just the beauty that is people in this world, gets to experience the World Cup, because it's bigger than the people who put it together. All right, folks, let's wrap up today's show. As far as this morning's discussion involving the taxi driver situation, he was wrong based on what I saw. Sometimes we don't need the entire story to let people know they were wrong. However, we still need to understand something very important. And Stacey Madeira said it. Are we considering this lady's own social bias and prejudging, or maybe prejudice? Is this the root of her distrust? Being alone with this black man in his car at a certain time of night. We have to consider this stuff as well, and how it may make one feel. So while he may have been wrong based on how he responded, he may have responded horribly. And that's stuff that we all need to, kind of be better at, how we respond. But we also need to take into account how we as customers and clients need to do better. This situation is avoidable. And I do believe that we have a responsibility to ensure people have the right training to represent the best of who we are at all times. Whether it's an athlete representing Bermuda, a politician representing us internationally, or people in Bermuda acting as local ambassadors. We need to do better. And it would do us well to have some level of training to ensure that there is consistency in how we act and respond in situations that may be hostile. It is unfair to judge people based on snippets. But we must also understand that we live in a social media world. A time, folks, they do it to me on this very show. They will take a clip, the Bermuda Progressive Labor Party took a clip of me saying something, and then people put it on the internet, and people, every day our social media team takes clips of me and puts it on like these social media platforms. And without context, people run with stuff. I am a victim of it. I don't like being a victim, but truthfully, I am. Full context. Full context is necessary. I'm not making excuses, but full context is necessary. All right, folks, let's give you some daily inspiration. And don't forget, Christmas in July. Next month, which starts next week, we have a lot to reward you with because you've been rocking with us. We're going to be doing some big giveaways in July as a thank you to all of you. Christmas in July on the Daily Hour is coming. Yes. Our way of saying thank you for the first 6 months of the year for all of your support. All right. Let's give you some daily inspiration. And this is, I don't know, yes or no, have you purchased my book, The Journey Within? Just a yes or no. And it's okay if you haven't, folks. That just means that your support ain't real. I'm joking. But here's a quote from my book. And this quote, it's your daily inspiration, send you to the weekend, says, quote, we'll never get where we need to be if we're too comfortable with where we are, end quote. And for me, that quote really meant no matter how comfortable or happy I am, I just know I'm not where I want to be. And I can't rest on my laurels. And I hope none of you will either. Appreciate you, cousin Nicole Walker, and a good friend Suzanne Ingham. And she got Shoe by the summer edition too. All right. Go on. Let us know how you enjoy it. And we've got Sherilyn Johnson says, yes, she says the book. All right. Well, we appreciate you. And I hope you're enjoying it. I hope something in that book has empowered you, inspired you, or motivated you, or just made you self-reflect. I look forward to the following 2 books coming out, but I'm grateful to you all for your support. I thank you for purchasing that book, and hopefully it does for you what my words and those affirmations and quotes have done for me. All right, folks, gotta let you go. But don't forget to subscribe on our website. Follow us on all of our social media channels to stay up to date with all that we have going on. Help us grow beyond the mic as we do our part to continue to improve our community. Thanks again to our partners, the BAC Group of Companies, HSBC Bermuda, Medical House Lenders, People's Pharmacy, and big love to Hot 1075 for ensuring that we can pump through the radio airwaves with these most important community conversations. As always, we appreciate you, we love you, and we thank you for making us part of your daily routine. If all goes well, we'll be back to do this again with you on Monday. I'm Jamel Hartman. Please do make it a safe and a great day. We are out. Peace.